Okay, in this simulation, the first action is to roll. So you're going to have your virtual dice open in another tab. You're going to click on it. I got a 3. It says if you roll a 1, 3, or 5, and I rolled a 3, then you took the antibiotic on time and can remove 5 discs. Remove all the blue discs until they disappear and then remove yellow. When the yellow discs disappear, remove the red ones. So I'm going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the blue discs. It says if you have blue discs in your body, this is your body, and I do have blue discs. It says to add 1 more blue, so I have to add 1 more blue back into the body. Then it says if you have yellow discs in your body, then add 1 more yellow. So I'm going to add 1 more yellow. And then number 4 says if you have red discs in your body, add 1 more red. I do. I have this 1 here in my body, so I have to add 1 more red. Number 5 says to count each disc and fill in the data table in your notebook. So I'm going to fill out my notebook. Okay, so this should have been set up for you. I'm going to fill out my notebook. But spoiler alert, you're going to put all of that data that you collect in your notebook into this assignment here. So I'm going to go ahead and put however many discs I have left from my first task. Each toss represents a day, right? So after 1 day, this is how many least resistant bacteria you have, resistant bacteria, and extremely resistant bacteria. So I'm going to go here and count how many is left in my body. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 least resistant bacteria in my body, so I'm going to put 9 here. For the yellow ones, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put 7 here. So I have 7 of the yellow, the resistant bacteria type in my body. And then lastly, I have 1, 2 of the extremely resistant bacteria in my body. Okay, and then you're going to do that again. You're going to roll the dice. You're going to follow the instructions to see if you took the antibiotic, and then you can remove discs from your body into this section. Or if you don't take the antibiotic because you forgot, what you would do is you would do nothing, okay? And then you would move on to steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's say you're finished with all of your moves, and these are the numbers you have. I'm going to show you how to make a chart from it or a graph from it. What you're going to do is you're going to highlight all of this. Then you're going to click on Insert Chart. Google does this really nifty thing where uh, it can tell what kind of chart it should be, but just in case it doesn't come up with it, all you have to do is go to chart type and click on the line chart. But Google does a pretty good job of knowing what chart you want. So it should be a line chart, and it looks pretty good, okay? It's based on all of this data from your game. So this chart right here is based on my game. And I'm going to show you the little changes you have to make. So the first change is right here. I don't want this title to be least resistant, resistant, extremely resistant. I want to call it antibiotic resistance game graph. Okay. And it did a really good job. So the least resistant bacteria was represented with blue discs, and the least resistant in the graph is blue. That's good. In the game, the resistant bacteria was yellow, but here it says red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on the red line and change it to yellow. I'm going to choose this deep yellow here because it's pretty. And then in the game, the extremely resistant bacteria was red, so I'm going to click on this yellow line and I'm going to choose red. And now you have a nice graph based on the data table for your game. So whenever you see a chart or a graph, remember that you're looking at the relationship between two things. In this case, you're looking at the relationship between days, okay, that's represented by each toss of the dice. You're looking at the relationship between days and the number of bacteria, okay? And there are three different relationships here. There's a relationship between days and the number of bacteria for least resistant, days and the number of bacteria for resistant, and days and the relationship between days and the extremely resistant bacteria. So if we were to look at the relationship between days and the number of least resistant bacteria, we'd see that over time we had a lot of least resistant bacteria, but then in this game, it slowly started to decrease until there were none. And in this version of the game, you could see that in the beginning we had just one extremely resistant bacteria, but then over time, okay, over the number of days, that number increased, okay? And that's what we can learn from this chart about the relationship between days and the number of bacteria. So go ahead and do your own and use that information to answer the conclusion questions. Let us know if you have any questions.